My bright yellow ultimate stealth camper van is coming along nicely. It's fully insulated, I've laid the subfloor, framed out and built the walls, fabricked half the van with velvet carpet and car carpet, started to build out the new bulkhead and the sliding pocket door, installed the swivel seat and the ceiling with the new LED lights. It's now time to start the fun stuff, building out the internal cabinets. So I've been staring into the van for the last hour or so. Not because I'm going crazy, but because I'm trying to work out what the hell to do next. So it's cabinet time, at least the framing of it. It's currently VE day, or weekend. It's about 25 degrees, so it is boiling hot. Trying not to get sunburned too much. I think building the van does require quite a lot of pre-planning, and I haven't written anything down other than those stages that I've been popping up throughout the episodes. No measurements, nothing like that. It's all kind of been just by eye and just writing things down on the wood as I go. It's worked quite well, to be fair. However, the cabinets are going to require quite a bit more work. Basically just to make sure they're even, level, plumb, etc. So what I have done is drawn, after my hour of staring into the van, drawn a rough diagram of the types of cuts that I'm going to need to make and the rough measurements that I'm going to need to make, like minimums, particularly around the 100 litre water tank and the water heater. So I don't know how useful this will be if I show you. What I might do is just flash it up on screen now. If I take a picture of it, put it on screen. It's pretty messy, like you probably won't understand most of it, and then I can kind of talk through it as I go. So I'm going for a kitchen area on the left, cabinets on the right, with some upper cabinets above the kitchen as well. I'd like the kind of the right section to be hot, at least on the kind of upper bit of it, to be a hanging wardrobe, to be able to hang clothes in and put large bags in if I need to do that. And the second half of it, just to the right of that, is going to be some shelves. I want to be able to access from the rear of the van as well as inside the van. So if we're out on a camping trip or something, or on, a road trip down into Europe somewhere, I'd like to be able to have shelves to actually like fold clothes or things, maybe with like baskets inside that you can access from inside. But then sometimes, maybe if I'm doing a road trip by myself or some sort of expedition, I might want to be able to access things from the rear, put gear in there and things like that. Just below that, so on the right hand side on the lower portion, that's where the water tank's going, 100 litre water tank. And I'm going to try and fit obviously whatever else I can put in there, potentially the water heater. Then to the left of that, so below the kitchen sink area and the cupboards and things, that's where the electrics are hopefully going to go. So yeah, this is exciting. What this does mean is, once this is in place, I won't be able to stick a double mattress in the back anymore, so I have to go back to sleeping on the blow up, like camping army mattress thing I've got. Okay, I've got myself a handy little guide for the water tank. It's not 100% straight obviously, but I need to just get really the depth of it and to see how much room I had down there. It just fits. So it's a wheel arch tank, so it will sit obviously above the wheel arch. There'll be a little gap just underneath there, so I'll put some sort of supports underneath there to hold it in place better. 18 centimetres down there. I mean, that gap is basically 19, so it's pretty close, so I'm going to need to somehow work out that kind of corner end of the cabinetry, how the hell I'm going to make it work, but we'll see. It may have to be built off maybe this section here as opposed to the back corner. Is what it is. You can see the ground floor. It doesn't actually come out as far as I thought it would. I think it's about, what is it, 26 centimeters out from the wall to the edge of this here. And I was expecting to have my cabinets to come up to about here, so that's actually quite a lot of room. I might not even need that much room. Maybe I'll do it closer. I'll see. Yeah, so that's where the water tank's going to go. So plan is, obviously, as you can see up there, we've got the this is kind of this section here that we're talking about. I need this kind of beam area along kind of this height, just above the water tank somehow. I just made a stupid mental error, obviously brain fart. This section will be completely free because it's an over the arch tank. So the tank is up here, it's not down here. That distance that I'm trying to measure here is actually how far the tank comes out here, if that makes sense. There is nothing down here, which, if I get my trusty measuring stick, is plenty of room for a water heater. That is excellent news. The water heater essentially will only come up to here. It's like a cylinder, so it'll sit kind of in this section. Frees up a shitload of space elsewhere. Good news, happy days. Yeah, this is good. This is why we do this. So it doesn't, so I don't do unnecessary work further down the line. So that is the water heater kind of spot, at least size put in. You know, it might shift left to right a little bit. Okay, what I've done here is just lay out one of the long 4.6 meter sections of timber for the frame. I do have two options when it comes to building the actual cabinets. I could do them outside of the van, build a carcass and put them inside the van. That's not really what I think I'm going to do. It'd be too difficult, even if I get them kind of straight outside the van. Once they're in the van, they're not going to line up with like the wonky walls, the wonky van shape. I just don't think it's going to work very well. The second option is to just build them piece by piece in the van, working off measurements, off all the things inside it to get it nice and accurate. I think that's going to be the best option. You know, for example, putting in like a beam across, measuring it, putting another beam across, measuring it, making sure it's all kind of straight off the first batten. As long as I get that one fixed in place nice and accurately, everything else should just build off it. So I'm excited for this bit. This is good. This is exciting. This is the interesting stuff. I'm, you know, working it all out, getting it looking good, and it's going to really start taking shape now. Tell you what, this weather today is amazing. It feels like being on a holiday. It's pretty cool. It's about 5:30 PM. It's still very warm. It's probably like 23 degrees. Little breeze. Very nice. Cool. Okay. So let's start screwing this down. Next up, got a support that I'm going to be putting in into the bulkhead, basically just into here. Align it with the front face of this beam, because I have that in there. I can then screw in the vertical cabinet support into this as well as across there when it, you know, gets put in place. Yeah, it just gives another anchor point, another piece to screw into. So obviously I'm not going to be able to screw it in. Well, I could probably pocket hole it into this, but I think it'll be really helpful having this in place. Tell Tell you what, a laser level would be handy, but I don't really want to spend a lot of money on one. So we've got the kind of rear left supports going in place here. What I actually did is cut the size slightly oversized by about 3mm, and then I used the new table saw to give a really nice straight cut exactly to size, so it fits in perfectly, nice and smooth, nice and straight, so very pleased with that. Then what I've done is done some deep pockets in here for the screws to go in kind of, I guess, width ways rather than depth ways. Into that way, and then one down in the bottom into the whatever you call it, the bulkhead. Nice. Happy days. Not 100% straight there, but there's not much I can do about that. That's actually alright. So next up we've got the trickier one to do, which is this kind of floating support here. Now this is key to get this the right height to match there, otherwise I'm going to end up with a wonky kitchen countertop, kind of inwards or outwards. Beautiful. Okay, last support on this section going in. This is just the horizontal one up here. Amazing, I'm quite pleased with that progress. I think for tonight I'm going to leave it there. It's only 7:16. However, I need to edit some more of these videos for you, so we're going to go do that. Also cook dinner and then relax for the evening, Saturday evening. So what we've done just now, obviously screwed in the outermost batten. We've done the vertical support there, across the top, and then across there, out and down there as well. It's all looking real nice, solid, very pleased with it so far. Early days, but yeah, we'll do loads more tomorrow. I've got all of Sunday completely free to build more of this, so I'm very much looking forward to it tomorrow. I'll see you in the morning. Let's get editing, get eating, have some rest, watch a movie. Yeah, enjoy the evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Day 2 of the cabinet build. What we're going to start off with, if I have a look down here, is a support, an additional support here, because I'm going to need something to hold the kind of main long beam across there. Obviously there's nothing there to rest it on top of, and I don't want to just rely on pocket hole screws to hold it, because that's where a lot of the weight's going to be if I'm like leaning on the kitchen counter or whatever. And then the second support we're going to go for is one here, vertically down there, kind of this position. There we go. And that's going to support the kind of end of the kitchen counter cross beam. There will be additional support somewhere around here, so there'll be kind of two, I'm going to call them horizontal beams, because this is where the end of the kind of main wardrobe cabinet will go, because it's got to sit off to the side of the fan. If it's here, the cabinet will be obviously in the fan, which we don't want. It's impossible. this piece, slight change of plan. Instead of doing it sticking out that way, I've gone for it flat. Two reasons for this. One is it will take up slightly less kind of valuable space this way, which I'll need for this bit will be the fold down shower actually. So the more room I have here, the better. Second reason is I might actually put another support screwed flat into this section here. Reason for that being is if I've got some sort of heavy countertop, I want a little bit more than like 1.5 centimeters to work with, especially as there's going to be some sort of paneling over this plus tiling, which obviously eats away at the what's actually left to support it. So with this section here, that beam will go across like that, leaving a square centimetre for this beam to sit on top of and get screwed into that flat section there. So it's kind of supported vertically there as well as into the wood itself. Okay, I've screwed that one in place, nice and sturdy, all the way along now. Definitely the right move. Next up, we're going to be putting this kind of middle support beam in here. So that's going in there. That's going to allow this horizontal beam across this way. So it's really kind of like, I guess, the keystone to this long piece, which is going to be the difficult one to make sure it's all straight and aligned. So get that one in place. I can work on a support here, and then we can look about getting the long bit in, cut to size, and then work on fixing that end. So yeah, just trying to get these two kind of straight and aligned, and then that should mean down there is also straight and aligned. So I've cut the important long vertical to length. Looks pretty good to me. Nice. So you can see what I've done with this horizontal beam here. I've had it kind of finish halfway. So we've got the long beam resting on top of that, rests on top of that, and then obviously we'll finish up the back end. Okay, that's not looking too bad, to be fair. Obviously we're floating at this end, but yeah, it's looking reasonably straight. Slight dip on from there to there, but I kind of, yeah, that's about 2 mil off I think on that side, so gonna have to live with it or somehow fix it, but we'll see. Okay, I decided against just leaving it. It was kind of annoying me. I thought it was about 0.5 centimeter off, like visually. I've put together, well, I cut a couple of shims, one 0.5 centimeter one and one 1 centimeter one, and the, well, it's about 0.8 actually, and the 0.8 one looks a lot better. So I'll pop that in. underneath there, it's not screwed in yet. It's just this, but slotted underneath, and that's made everything look a lot straighter, in line with each other visually. It's obviously impossible to do this with a spirit level, you need like a laser. However, I'm just going off eyeballing. I've done everything off eyeball so far and it's worked. So yeah, I think I'll stick with that 1 centimeter shim. It seems to have made it look good. I'm pleased with it now. So yeah, we'll keep it there. With that shim in place though, I am going to put the right angle bracket in rather than the screw, because the screw will probably split the shim. So yeah, I'll go find the bracket now. I think I've got one down there. We'll pop that in. Okay, what I've done at the rear is put a kind of a temporary piece of wood, almost like as a bracket, to hold this one in place at the right position. I've then gone ahead and taken off the long beam, cut it exactly to size, so you can see it's a little bit short here, and the reason for that is because we'll be having the rear cross beam going across there, with a wooden support tacked into the metal running the full length of that, and that will kind of piece together the rear, keeping it pretty sturdy. The upper section is going to be a bit more difficult as this curves in, so it'll be a straight up, straight across, straight down, and then it'll be faced most likely with, you know, a curved piece of plywood with a door so I can access some of those cupboards. Okay, that'll do for this evening. I am pretty tired. It is 9 PM, still got to do a workout, so let's finish up here. The lower portion of the cabinet section is pretty much there. At least the kind of outer frame. I'll be adding more supports and things like that. I will be keeping it still fairly open because I need to access everything inside, i.e. put the water tank in, the batteries, etc. Next step, maybe tomorrow morning early before work, I'll do the upper portion of the cabinet, and then yeah, I think it's looking pretty good.